Shalom, everyone. We like to welcome you to another update on Israel and the conflict that is going on, of course, in the Middle East. This past week, the world has been kind of captivated by what all has occurred in Syria. And so, Gilla, why don't you introduce our guest with us?
Let me just read a verse from Proverbs. Hello, first of all, hello to everybody. That came into my mind as all this was unraveling. We get up in the morning and Assad's regime is gone. You know, you go to sleep, there's Syria. You get up in the morning, there's no Syria. I just wanted to read to you from Proverbs 20. Oh gosh, why did I lose it?
It's 1921.
19, yeah, from Proverbs 19, verse 21. There are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel will stand. So people can make all kinds of plans, and then everything changes completely. We have with us once again, not Captain, Major.
Begun.
I'm sorry, Major Roy Shaposhnik, who is the deputy commander of a battalion, a reserve battalion of the Barak Brigade, who's been recruited and fighting since October 7th, 2023. He, to remind you, is a father and has his own business in like normal days, but he put all of that aside to recruit into the Israeli army and has been with the Barak Brigade ever since the beginning of the war. So Roy, it's all yours.
So shalom, everybody. Good to see you once again. It's been a little bit crazy since last week that we have spoken. I mean, if I had to guess that we will find ourselves in Syria in less than 48 hours, I think they will lock me down in a lunatic hospital. But we definitely witness to a history in front of our eyes. I mean, as a soldier, we always learned about the Syrian and places that I just came from. Literally 3 hours ago, it was shocked to see that all of a sudden we are there. So the Barak Brigade is actually the first and only brigade in the IDF that is right now physically in 3 different conflict zones. We have the 71st Battalion that is in Gaza. We have the 53rd Battalion that is in Lebanon. Even 74 Battalion is right now in Syria, and there are some very interesting pictures that we can show you later on as well. But the things that we have got from there are truly amazing. The 74 Battalion is actually controlling 2 different areas, the Hermon mountain up on the north side of Israel, and of course, the area of the east-north of the Golan Mountains, where, funny enough, 51 years ago, we were in Yom Kippur War, actually in that area specifically, fighting against the Syrians. So I think this is something that is really amazing.
Just as a note, many of the people from the viewing audience have taken trips to Israel with the station. and uh, have the soldiers that you would always be around were the Barak Brigade, and it is an elite armor brigade, um, and has quite a history. And last week, Roy was telling us about their port on October 7th, and that was very, very amazing. So, can you give us an update on uh, first who's the enemy here? I mean, everybody knows Hezbollah in Lebanon. They know Hamas in Gaza. So, who are these guys, and what are they trying to do?
So I think it's a very good question. First of all, let me tell you the truth. I know it's going to sound weird. There is no enemy. Right now in Syria, we are literally all by ourselves, about an approximately 10 to 15 kilometers from the Israeli Syrian border. We went inside in order to make sure that we are not getting surprised by the rebels, which we all identified that the rebels are a group of different terrorist organizations, starting with Al Qaeda, Jabhat al Nusra, and some more. The issue is that they literally not there. The Syrian soldiers got a command to withdraw from the border from Israel. They went back into the Damascus area, Damascus, and over there they surrendered to the rebels. They left their area completely open. We went in. I must tell you that we haven't fired one single shot so far in that area. Having saying all of that, the amount of weapon, the amount of intel that we've managed to gather is really priceless, which is amazing. We found ourselves entering into Syrian army camps that we only learned about it from intel reports, and all of a sudden we are there, which is amazing. I mean, really amazing. Um, but we are getting ready and we are getting prepared because we understand that at the end of the day, the rebels or those terrorist organizations will understand that they got their main target, and that was to remove Assad from power. And now they will find a new common enemy, and I'm afraid that this new common enemy will be Israel again. Even though there are some, it's literally on the news, but I think we all heard about it. There are some negotiations between the rebels and third parties, such as the Americans, such as the Turks, and of course Israel as well, in order to divide or to split the area that is near to each border. The north side, obviously, more related to the Turkish, and the west side of Syria and east side of Israel, more relevant to us. And of course, the area that is related to Lebanon has a very important interest by the Americans, mainly to make sure that there is no smuggling of weapons between Lebanon, Hezbollah, Iran, and Iraq, using that unguarded territory of Syria country. We are acting as we have enemy around us 360 degrees. The climate of the people or the behavior of the soldier is completely fully geared up. We are ready for any kind of escalation. We are preparing the ground. We are digging a lot of elements
And
in order to prevent
anti-tank trenches, anti-tank trenches.
anti-tank
Yeah,
trenches to Gilla, in order to prevent what happened in Hamas and Israel on the 7th of October. We have become very aggressive when it comes to, I know it's a slang in Hebrew, but I think it will sound the same in English. We don't take prisoners anymore. We want to make sure that that we are safe and sound. So we are doing a lot in that area. In Lebanon specific, we are still about 1.5, 2 kilometer inside of Lebanon. We are keeping on watching over and waiting for the Lebanon army to come and to take over the places that Hezbollah was a year and a half ago. And that's a part of the ceasefire agreement that signed between Hezbollah, Lebanon, and Israel, of course, with the supervision of the Americans and other countries from Europe. And the main element over there is to make sure that people are coming back, people that live in the north side of Israel, and also people that are living on the south part of Lebanon, and to allow them to come and to live over there peacefully. It's not simple. From now and then, we hear fires, we hear attacks by our units, the Air Force, of course, our tanks. And that is the main reason of creating a kind of a deterrence, and also creating a very non-tolerating element. Nobody can come near to a military, Israeli military, or into a non-area that they are not allowed to get near. We react very fast, and we are making sure that we put the point out in a very strong way. In the south part, in Hamas, based on the news that I just heard, they are talking that there is a very progressive negotiation related to the hostage. I have to tell you personally, I'm a little bit suspicious about it.
Skeptical,
Skeptical.
Yeah.
I wish that something will happen, but guys, it's a war zone over there. I mean, we just lost 4 soldiers in Gaza 3 days ago by a very crucial attack that happened by Hamas, using the human factor over there, using the population, using the civilians as a human shield. And we lost 4 soldiers, 4 reserve soldiers, and that was very sad. Having saying all of that, we are still trying to be more optimistic. The army as an army is regroup and getting ready for the next challenges that we have. And the Barak Brigade is also getting ready in the next 3 months to probably move to their next assignment, which obviously I'm not allowed to share right now.
I have a question on Syria. The Assad regime was known for using biological weapons at times, and the idea of vast stores of these weapons and chemical warfare and so forth, that has to be a major concern of Israel. You mentioned that you were in Syria 3 hours before we started this. So people in Texas just don't relate to an enemy that close or a danger that close. And but any comments on these depots of weapons and what Israel is? How do you negate that?
So, in a very fast way, the Israeli Air Force attacked 250 different targets on the north side of Syria that we had an intel that
it's more now. They're talking about more than 300.
Yeah.
And we hear the planes all the time in Jerusalem.
Some of those area was identified as the biological labs. Some of those area is identified as weapon factories or manufacturer that was getting instructions either by the Iranian and managed to supply the weapon to Hezbollah, also beside of Assad regime. Yesterday, Israel Navy managed to eliminate the entire Syrian Navy in in Latakia, which is the Navy base. I have to tell you, that was an area that was on our target list for many, many years. But once the Russian left, we made we realized that we need to get involved, and that was a very impressive operation, which was a combination of the Air Force and, of course, the Navy in both different areas, and we literally took out the entire Navy. And I think this is a very important, because you don't want those a strategical weapon to end up in the rebels' hands. I call them rebels, but for me, they are terrorists.
Yes.
I mean, everybody asks me what will happen with the rebels. So I'm saying they are not in Hebrew. We say chovevet Zion. They are not Israeli friends.
Lovers of Zion.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lovers of Zion. So I mean,
Right.
a friend of
Yeah,
mine
no.
called me and said, "Look what happened in Syria. Maybe we will find one day we will drive to Europe through Syria." So
Right.
I told him, "Yep, keep on dreaming."
Yeah. Keep
I am
on.
extremely, extremely skeptical. I don't think that it will happen. But yes, going back to your question, we have done a lot. Um, I will tell you a short secret. The brigade, the Barak Brigade, even managed to find some very rare equipment, ammunition, tanks, and we took it back to Israel. And unfortunately, I can't share that specific picture yet, but I promise you that once I will get the approval, I will share it with you. It's very impressive to see it.
Well, you share the tank. You
Oh
share
yes, yes, that you can actually
the
definitely.
T-61. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And also the Air Force. They also completely did away with the Syrian Air Force. All the MiG-29.
And all the
Yeah, all
helicopters,
gone.
everything went
Like
out, and I
amazing.
think that's very good and amazing and important.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something, and that's my personal feeling. I'm concerned that what happened in Syria might happen in another country, and that is a kingdom, the Jordan kingdom.
Yes.
Um, I'm a little bit, and again, this is only my personal feeling. I have no intel. I am not hiding anything. I'm just understand a little bit what goes on in the kingdom, and this is a major concern for me personally, because I think it's another area that we will have to find ourselves dealing in the near future.
You've got some pictures that you brought to show us.
Yep.
If maybe we could get some of those up. And what are we looking at here?
So what we see right now, in a very funny and interesting way, is a civilian Israeli car on the right inside Syria as we speak. Um, what you see there is the brigade commander. We are getting ready right with the tanks. I think if we can scroll a little bit the pictures, those are Merkava Mark IV tanks in a small, we call it a
Pita.
commander ceremony, just to identify where we are, to share with the soldier what exactly is going on. You can see that they are all geared up and waiting actually for the next commands and the way to move forward. Let's move to the next one. Yeah, that's from another angle. And now we will show you a short video that you can actually see a little bit more of the footage. Those, by the way, are small bunkers that the enemy stored tanks and stored ammunition. We have managed to eliminate all of those. And this is what we called a Syrian front commander. That's the base of the Syrian. That's where we found most of the ammunition of one of the areas. And again, some videos. This is the 188 Brigade Commander, Brigadier Colonel, yes, Or Voloshinsky, in that ceremony.
Hmm.
And we have a very interesting video right after that that you can see a little bit the area, but you can understand, guys.
Wow.
This is Syria. I mean, this is shocking. I never ever in my dreams, and I am a soldier for 98 till now, 25 years, 26 years. And I grew up on, getting ready to fight against the Syrian. I never went to sleep at night not memorizing the path, the road to the Syrian border. That was a part of my life every day, every night. And I never ever dreamed in my life that we will find ourselves entering Syria again.
You just
And
have to live. You just have to live long enough, Roy, and you see
Yeah.
and you see everything. Because as an old lady, I remember our soldiers being deep into Syria in 1973, 1974 in the Yom
don't
Kippur
say don't say
Brigade.
old lady, say experienced lady.
Experienced lady. Okay, John, you remember that too.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, of Israel being inside Syria and almost at the gate, at the doors of Damascus, almost at the gates of
True.
Damascus. Yeah.
And I have to
So,
tell you that the comments that we are getting from all the 188 Brigade veterans, the comments that we are getting is really amazing. By
yeah.
the way, I just have to tell you a quick story. We have our book online. It's on Amazon. It's called
Uh-huh.
On the Edge. It's a book of the 1973 Yom Kippur War from the 188 Brigade point of view. And from Saturday until today, we saw an unbelievable amount of people that are downloading the book. It's become like a great
What is the name of it? Oh,
on
is
the
it in
edge.
English?
Yep, on Amazon. Yeah, we
Yeah.
translated it to English and it's on Amazon and the name is On the Edge.
Oh,
On,
on Edge. Yeah,
Yeah,
on Edge. Right,
on the
right. Al Blima, right?
Al
Al
Blima.
Blim.
Yep,
Yeah,
true.
on the edge. On the
So
edge. Yeah.
talking to
Okay.
all the veterans from Yom Kippur War is
Do you
really
remember who wrote it so it's easier to find?
Aviram Barkai.
Okay. Oh, yeah. He did an amazing job. Yeah. All right. Aviram Barkai,
Yep.
on the edge. Okay. Wow.
well, the one of the things that it's a very real danger. Uh, I mean, it's something that cannot be just uh, might be a problem down the way. It could be a problem tomorrow. Uh, it could be a problem, and Israel has to be ready. Okay, last week we talked about some needs that the reserve soldiers, like in your battalion, uh, that they do not have all the equipment. Uh, Israel's been at war for well over a year,
Yeah.
about a year and 2 months, 3 months, and a war now
14
went
months.
from one front to two fronts, and now it basically, even though there's no fighting on this third front, it's still a front, and the soldiers have to have the correct equipment in order to safely or as safely as possible perform their jobs. Can you tell
So
us about the equipment and the needs?
yes, I will even tell you more than that. I think the fact that on Friday night we have entered Syria actually even created a bigger need, and I will explain why. In our plannings, we were supposed to release the reserve in about a month from now,
Mm.
and that was the plan. With what happened right now in Syria, we have completely changed our entire plans, and we are actually going to stay a little bit longer with the reserves because we have another front that we need to take care of. Our need right now is an immediate need for small but important elements, starting with bulletproof vests and helmets that I have to say it, I said it before and I will say it again. The army has equipment, but the equipment the army has for the reserve is a very old equipment. With the new threat that we have right now, it's impossible to use that equipment in order to make sure that it keeps our life safe. Now, I know you guys are doing an amazing, amazing job, and I am literally speechless. I can't wait to get you all, the viewers and you guys on screen, to get you in Israel and to host you and to show you and to pay back all the things that you're doing to us. And really, I am speechless. We don't take it for granted, but really, and I know it's going to sound weird, I really need your help. We right now finding ourselves in an immediate need for 100 units that we need to send into those reserves units over there. That's important. Um, I'm working extremely hard as a part of my role as the chairman of the Barak Brigade NGO to bring winter clothes, to bring some other things. We have a lot of support that we are getting from Israeli donors, but when it comes to the bulletproof equipment, the helmets, the vests, I really, really asking to get your help. For us, everything counts. Really, everything counts.
These helmets that you mentioned, the tactical helmets, these are $390 American each, and at a minimum, just in your unit, that you need 30.
True, true.
And then you've got also the bulletproof vest.
True.
And then from last week's discussion, you were saying that the ammunition that they're firing, the older vest will not protect the soldier.
Absolutely. And the vests that we are having right now are very old vests that not suit to the current threat that we have as we are fighting today. It's a completely different thing. And unfortunately as well, I cannot bring it from other places because the Israeli Defense Force is watching over to make sure that
Yeah,
we are
very
using
strict, very
very
strict about
strict, and we
what
need to buy it
equipment
from
comes there. Yeah.
we need to buy it from a very specific supplier.
Right. And these vests are $800 each. And we're almost out of time here, but there's a little, I'm not sure what you call them, little icon thing at the right of the screen at the top.
Script. The
QR
script.
code.
Yeah, the script. You can scan that and you can donate to the David Fund. Okay. And the David Fund address is down here. This is money that goes directly to Israel, and it's all applied to the army. There's no administration money that's taken out. It all goes 100%. And this money that we're raising right now, if you can help us, is to supply these reserve soldiers with this essential equipment, because it's a powder keg that could explode at any time.
Mm.
Okay. Anything that y'all want to say?
Well, I also want to say thank you. I mean, I've been with you. I've been with GLC for many years, and the viewers are just fantastic. And we're just reaching out once again because Israel, there's no telling what goes on here, and it's just crazy. Every year, every minute, something changes. So we're really reaching out for your help, and we're tremendously, tremendously grateful. Thank you so much.
Roy, just thank you again.